Recording. We are officially live. Welcome to our ZIBWAM Zoom in between Wall and Main for Friday, December 18th, 2015. Our scheduled guest was supposed to be Ben Lilly from 7th Stage and Sales Pat, but apparently he had a family, and he has an illness in the family, so he has to attend to that.
Prayers out to him.
Yes, definitely. So now for our first trick, we're going to try and figure out where the option went to not show non-video participants. So if I move down to my video camera option down below, which is for my own camera, let's go to video settings and see if maybe it's there. Hide non-video participants. There it is. I'll take a
under video set.
Yeah, so you
bottom,
move your mouse over your camera to turn it on. You move your mouse over your camera at the bottom of the screen where there's a little arrow, you know, where you can turn on or off your own camera feed.
Right.
And then there's a little arrow next to it. So when you click that, you can go to all of your video settings. And then once you're in there, there's a checkbox to hide non-video participants.
Got it.
And so that takes care of that. Now, once you turn that on, then you'll see at the top of your screen where it'll say total non-video participants. Mine says 4. So it shows that there are 4 non-video participants. And then when I click that, I have an option right there to show non-video participants.
Got it.
Well, can they still talk if they have that checked?
Yeah, it's just this way we don't have to look at that, you know, sort of blank silhouette.
The gray, soulless looking thing.
Yeah, and then it obviously is for the, you know, for the recording as well. You know, we don't want to clutter up the screen with people. People don't want to turn their camera on. That's fine. I get that. But we don't want to clutter up the screen with those sort of blank boxes.
Right.
All right, so Seth, I have a question.
Okay.
Can you see me because my video is off, but I have my profile picture up?
No, that's the point. If you're not actually streaming your video, you will not appear with this setting in place.
Okay, cool.
Well, we see your profile picture. At least I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Is do you guys see the profile picture when I'm talking, or do you not see it?
Oh, if you're in the speaker view, yes. But if I've got the gallery view setting on.
Gotcha.
Where's the setting for the profile picture?
Like your account with Zoom. You know, yeah. like when you're setting up any account these days, there's a place to, you know, usually that you can either link it to Facebook and get your Facebook profile picture to be the one that it uses, or, you know, you just upload it. So that's going to be in your account settings with Zoom.
Okay.
So, yeah, so like I'm on speaker view, so I don't see you. But if I switch it over to I'm sorry, I was on gallery view. If I switch it over to speaker view, then when you're speaking, Joanne, it'll show you your silhouette, and then everybody else shows up in the little thumbnail things on the right. But the thumbnail things on the right will not show you. It only shows those of us who are streaming video.
Boo! Just kidding.
Well, while we're on Zoom, Seth.
Might as well make that today's topic.
Well, you know, I do have a couple more questions. Hey, Sarah.
How are you?
Hi, Sarah.
Good.
Sorry I'm late. I was playing with my new iPad.
Is it warm? Is it warm down there? Everybody else is kind of bundled up.
It finally cooled off this morning. It stormed all night long. So, because yesterday was like 80.
Oh my God.
Miserable. Well, the AC system can't. You know, it's like you want air, but you don't want air, and anyway, it's confused. Our closets are confused.
Well, Seth, you were on the East Coast too. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm there right now. You're seeing my my cousin's house in the background behind me.
You need to put a flashlight on your face.
Yeah, the lighting's not great in here, but behind me I'm sitting inside my cousin's house right now. He has this beautiful stone home.
Look at the tree.
Beautiful view out the window too.
See? Yep. No, it's gorgeous here. He's in Englewood, which is right outside of New York City. Good morning, Suchi.
Good morning.
Speaking of New York City, well, Brooklyn, kind of New York City. Brooklyn's in the house.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that's why I'm a bit of a dark silhouette. Plus, I don't have my good webcam. I'm using my built-in computer camera, which is.
Gotta do what you gotta do when you're on the road.
Well, usually I take my webcam. It's not that big. I just forgot to grab it. And in fact, it's funny because I knew I was going to be doing the webinar for CPA Academy yesterday. So I was sitting in the airport waiting to head out here, and I realized I normally pack my big Yeti Blue mic in my backpack. I just put it at the bottom, so that it's kind of secure there. And I forgot to pack it, and I realized that as I was sitting in my airport. So this is the coolest thing about the times we live in. I get on Amazon, and I just started searching Amazon for like a portable USB microphone. And I found this little doohickey.
Oh, nice.
Which has, I don't know how I sound to you guys, but when I tested it, especially if I keep it nice and close to my mouth, the audio quality seems great. And from Amazon, I just had it shipped same-day delivery, Amazon Prime, got to do it.
Yeah, nice.
Same-day delivery to my cousin's house. I just put in his address for the shipping address, and it arrived within a few hours of when I arrived at his house, which was so cool.
Would have been funny if it arrived earlier.
It was
That's technical equipment arrives before he does.
I actually had to reach out to my cousin and give him the heads up that it might show up before it was supposed to. And in fact, because the shipping got delayed by a few hours, they actually comped me on the shipping.
Oh, nice.
So that, it was actually supposed to have arrived before I did.
So how much did the little beast cost?
It's normally $90, and because of the holiday sales and everything, I got it for, I think it was about $40. I got it for about half price.
There's good shopping.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
I
Nice.
feel sorry for the delivery people on Sunday. I feel so bad. I go, I really could have waited till Monday.
You know what? They probably get paid overtime for it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if they don't, it's still, they wanted to work, right? They want to make the extra money.
And I always feel like you can't do anything because you're knocking the system, and they got a system, so shut up and let them roll.
Exactly. Well, yesterday, I saw a guy in brown, a UPS guy, run around the neighborhood in a golf cart.
Nice.
That was odd.
It
Was
was
that
11.
yes?
So let me see something. I want to see if I can share my screen and see if you'll be able to see the Zoom client on my screen when I'm sharing it. Let's try this. Share screen. So if I choose desktop, and share screen. So tell me, can you see the Zoom client?
Good.
Let me scroll.
What?
Now I see them all, even the ones that are not broadcasting on my little right-hand Foursquare. But I have to scroll.
Right. Can you see mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here I have the private meeting room. So these are all different recurring meetings that I've created. Right?
I love that feature.
I have private meeting room 1 and 2 so that I can alternate private trainings throughout the day when I have, because oftentimes I'll have it back to back all day long.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one that I created for the webinar that I'm doing coming up, the cloud accounting and bookkeeping practice, the projections, right? So I created one just for that, and even though it's really not recurring, I set it up so that I could have a meeting room with its own unique ID in advance, scheduled, and then that's the information that goes out to people who sign up. And then, of course, the one here that says this meeting is in progress is the one we're currently in. So the way we do that is from home, we just go schedule. And see, Gina, here's your checkbox where I guess by default this is checked off. So you want to uncheck this if you want to get a unique ID created. In fact, the guy I spoke with at Zoom told me that it's really rare that you actually want to use the personal meeting ID. I mean, that's only for like maybe internal use with other people in your company, let's say, that you might use that.
Mm-hmm.
And as you all, I think, know, you can change that, the personal meeting ID. You can make it whatever you want. Like this one, I changed it because if you notice the key pattern, it's 951 is diagonally down the keypad, then 753 is diagonally down the other way, and then 852 is straight down the middle with an extra 2.
Oh my goodness, Seth, you are so organized. You just put me to shame.
No, I'm just obsessive compulsive.
So my question about the recurring meetings, if I set up a recurring meeting for my weekly, it used to be called Hangout, now it's a Zoom, what happens on the weeks that I don't want to do a Zoom, that I may want to do a blab, for example?
Well, then you'll just have to update your people with that information. But, creating a recurring meeting, all it really does is it kind of sticks it in this meetings queue over here.
But I'm
Yeah.
afraid on that week, if everybody knows that the same number is going to be the same number always,
Can you lock
what
it?
about people that don't go to my Slack or Facebook and just go on to Zoom and think that
Can you lock it or
You
highlight?
can lock it. When you go into the meeting settings, you can change it so that nobody can access it until or unless the host has started it. Like we were saying earlier, there's a setting that I often check off that enables participants to come in before the host is there. But Gina, going back to your comment, I think from a sort of hosting standpoint of a regular weekly talk like this, it probably makes sense to stick with one consistent application and just say, we're just going to do Zoom or just do Blab. You know?
Can you,
I know, but New Year's Day is coming up and I want to do a blab, and I'm thinking of doing blabs like on holidays or special occasions. In most instances, I am going to be Zooming, but there may be one or two, maybe 3 a year.
So then what I might do is do both, you know, have the Zoom ready to go, join the Zoom and let people know, hey, we're going to do a Blab today. So have them go kind of do both then, if anything.
Will
can
you
you put,
highlight on your reoccurring thing and see what your settings are?
So if I go back, I don't know if it'll let me edit. I guess it will. So once you check off recurring, of course, it takes away all the time settings, right? That's all it does. Everything else is fine. So video, when joining a meeting, you can force the video to automatically be on when people join, which, as you can see, is how I've got this one set. Audio options, I give people both options, right? Interesting, the require meeting password. I wondered, because I tried that once, and it seemed nobody needed the password. And it turns out the only purpose that having the password requirement serves is for people who somehow stumble on the meeting. In other words, if you've given them the link, you know, the URL for the meeting, they won't need the password.
Right. They have. Yeah. Exactly.
it's too bad there's no place for a message or something that, you know, when they log on, it
Or
says go
lock
to,
it there. Like inactivate it temporarily.
Inactivate what temporarily?
The meeting.
You lost me on that one. Why would we want to inactivate the meeting temporarily?
For instance, when
If you
you're
wanna
not
go-
going to have the meeting that
so if you
time.
want to go to Blab. I mean, it's too
I
bad.
see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, again, I would just, in those cases, I would plan on joining the Zoom meeting since that's your normal sort of meeting room, and then, what do you call it? And then, you know, and then, so join it and then tell people, hey, we're over on Blab, you know.
On the reoccurring meeting, can you say don't allow them to come in before the host? I didn't see that on the list.
I think that's in a different, I think that's once you launch it. Let's create a new one.
So maybe you could launch one and
Let's create a new one. So if I say, yeah, see, here it is, enable join before host. So wait, was that not there in the, when I went to edit an existing one? No, it's there. It's there in the meeting options, enable join before host. So you would uncheck that if you want to not let people in.
Got it.
But that might confuse people more because then they're going to be like, why can't I get in? Normally I get in and we do Zoom every week. You know what I mean? You know, the other trick, of course, is to do, as I've done here, which is have a page on on your website somewhere with the information. This way you could update it on the website and always give people the link to the web page so that each week they come here for the information, and then you can put up a notice saying, hey, this week we're doing Blab, we're not doing Zoom.
yeah, well, we still have people go to hang out and go, you know, they're out of habit.
Yeah, see, I'm updating 3 different places now for mine. The Hangout event, the Facebook page that I have, and Slack. And Slack seems to be a deader. Nobody seems to want to do Slack.
Yeah, no, I think the best way to do it is you have a group on Facebook, don't you, Gina?
Pardon me?
So like the way I've got it set up, it works kind of perfectly because I have the web page here on Between Wall and Main, and then I just go into the Facebook group to give people the updates, right? And let them know, hey, this is what's going on. But I try to get in the habit now of sending people to this page here. So it's kind of like, if you want to join like when people get on, and I stopped even setting up the Hangout page anymore on Google+. I'm sort of done with that. But if people have reached out to me looking for it, then I just send them the link to this page and say, just bookmark this link, because this is where you'll always be able to get whatever information you need for how to join the Hangout any week we're doing it.
Okay, well, yeah, we're not doing the website because not anybody is invited to ours.
Right. So or have a place then make it the Facebook page, but
Well,
pick
the
one
Facebook
place.
pages, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, yes.
Yeah, you got to pick one place and just start telling people this is where you always go, because otherwise it's very confusing for people.
It's very confusing for me.
Right. And you're the one doing it.
Right, exactly.
Well, with Zoom yesterday, I have a reoccurring meeting once a month on a Thursday, management meeting. So there's, a group of 5.
Yeah, and by the way, I have used the remote control now, doing these one-on-one meetings with Zoom. I've used the remote control, and it works so well. It works so seamlessly, and it looks like I triggered something.
What do you mean remote control?
Yeah.
Take over somebody's computer. So
Yes.
Share screen.
Awesome.
Both
can you see at the
mine
top of
and
my
yours
screen
did
the options that drop down from the top? See where it says remote control?
No.
So that may not show up for you while I'm sharing my screen.
No, but the options are very cool. You can share rights and
Yeah.
Can you show me?
recording rights and all
can
kinds
you-
of things with
Can
you.
you go through that just to? 'Cause I haven't used it that much.
Free?
Huh?
This is free?
Yeah, there's a paid version. The free version allows you a meeting of up to, what is it? I think 40 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad.
And then, so if you want to have sort of an indefinite meeting length, and who is that? I don't recognize that voice.
It's Cooch.
Oh, you made it. Hey, there you are.
I did. I made it. I got rid of that other client, so I got me.
Got rid of that client.
I've learned, I just never schedule clients on hey, how are you? I never schedule clients on a Friday. I always end up because whenever I do, I always regret it. I'm always like, I just want to be free on Fridays to do whatever I want.
Yeah, apparently
Friday's
I'm
my
zooming
day.
all over the place on Fridays these days.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to tell you what happened yesterday. So I have this recurring management meeting, once a month on a Thursday and everything. So I had a very close friend of mine die. So I had to cancel the meeting yesterday. So we rescheduled and everything. So I'm in the middle of the funeral and I get this notification of somebody waiting.
Oh, jeez.
So I don't know what, I think the Outlook sends a reminder. I didn't, I've been thinking clearly. So I guess I should have gone in Outlook and inactivated there, but it did a reminder and everything. And there's the link and somebody clicked on it and nobody's there. But what's nice is they can start a meeting or even have a meeting if I'm not present.
Yeah.
Sort of cool.
Yeah.
Wait, how can they start a meeting without you being present? Using what?
Because I had that setting that they can go into the meeting without.
Oh, right. Yeah, but you still have to start it. You have to be there to start the meeting. They're able to just go in without you. No, because I get emails, even with that setting in place, I get emails saying people are waiting.
Well, they're waiting, but they're talking to one another and having a meeting.
Eddie wants to join.
Who?
Eddie, where is she? Oh, she's asleep. You
Reach
can't
to
see her on
the
the
left,
floor.
Eddie.
Sarah.
Huh? Wait a minute, my camera's off. See her in her sunshine?
There she is. She is.
She's gotten big, huh?
28 pounds.
Oh, what a sweetie.
Now that I moved my camera, it reminded me, I was hunting for a laptop. My husband just both review things to death. And so we had our sights on this laptop. And fortunately, we just happened to be at Best Buy because we're talking to one of the computer geeks there, and he's like, "We have one of those." And so anyway, fortunately, I was able to pull it out, compare it to others, play with it. Mark had done all the specs, but I'm then was the keyboard space and all that. You know what? Why I tossed that laptop back out? The camera's right by the hinge, not at the top.
Oh,
And
why would they do that?
Who the hell wants to look up my nose? I'm serious. I'm like,
Wow.
so I got a Lavino,
Vino?
and but
Lenovo.
Lenovo.
No, that's right, Lenovo.
And actually, by the time we put a solid state drive in it and bump up the RAM, it'll be pretty terrible. But I've never bought one of those before.
Oh, okay. So you'll get to test it out?
Right. Well, usually I get Dell's with the 4-year business support. And so we went back to Best Buy and I said, what happens if something happens to this machine? It's like, well, it'll be, a week or two. I'm like, no.
They try to sell you a warranty package.
Well, yeah, you can get all that, but I'm more concerned about if the thing fails. I need turnaround time. I need, if it's a
So what will you be using your laptop for? Will you be using it every day?
Well, that's the thing. I usually use it for traveling and things like that, so it's not as critical, but it's so freaking powerful that if something happens to my desktop, I can put it in a docking station and it becomes so I have to think ahead. So that's why I thought,
But turnaround time may not be so critical if you're using it as a stand-in for your other computer.
Well, if it becomes my main computer, then it's critical.
Well, if you lose your desktop, would you replace it, or would you just use the laptop going forward?
I'd probably use my laptop. I'd probably replace my desktop with the laptop because it's actually more powerful than
your desktop.
The desktop. And with all my multiple screens, I just get it in a docking station or something. I think I may go that way with all my staff anyway, is start migrating now that the laptops are getting better and better, where they can actually undock it and take it with them. Because I'm in a hurricane area, I've got to think of all this.
Right.
I've got one staff with a very ill daughter, and so we're trying to work out what to do from the hospital. Because that just creates more stress when you're under a family emergency. The last thing you want to worry about is communication or getting some
technical
job done. She could sit in a hospital room, and she found that it helped her to stay busy. But so anyway, we're doing with the new servers ordered. We've been on a buying binge here, and I had to hire an IT guy.
An IT guy, wow.
She lives with one.
I live with one. Yes,
Yeah,
my poor husband. We've been trying to put in a new server since April? Whenever the old server got sunsetted or whatever they call it. And so we've been nursing this thing along April, May, June, July, August, September, running out a year. He is so busy at work and having that he comes home from work and then I'm like, I got this error message so I finally said, all right, who? We set it up with somebody he really respects out of Alabama. And so we're shipping all the equipment to them. They'll have it all configured and everything, ship it up here, and they can dial in and do all the migration and all this. And then my husband, you can just see him go. I think the burden, plus it gives me a lot of comfort if something were to happen to him. I'll have somebody to call, so anyway, so.
Well, that person probably had a rigorous onboarding from Mark.
Fortunately, they're really good friends, and then I got
okay.
So it's like, what about your family? So I got the family discount. I still have sticker shock. I'm saying for free, So I've been very fortunate to have free IT. So but yeah, 2016, I'm excited. They're in the middle of redoing the website, on the equipment. I get to play with Windows 10 on my laptop.
Have you been using it yet? Have you been using Windows 10?
No, we haven't. Until we figure out all the support stuff, we haven't opened the box.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using Windows 10.
Box? Wait, you have a box? You didn't just download it and install it?
No. The laptop is still in the box.
Oh, got it.
I have Windows 10 too.
I'm still using QuickBooks 14 for a lot of clients, and so I've been reading and reading, and so many people are saying it works fine. And
I haven't had any issues.
Yeah, see? How about Office 16? Is that something I should just
I haven't tried that yet.
I should just table that.
Yeah, that one I have not tried yet, but no issues with Windows 10 running everything I normally run. How far back did I go with my actual QuickBooks versions? It took me a minute to get used to it because I was starting to get used to 8.1 where you have the whole tiled layout, and now basically they've just condensed that into a little pop-out, which I was actually at first did not like that better. But yeah, I have 14, 15, and 16 running on here and have not had any issues at all. So, and in fact, going back to, somebody's got a lot of background noise, by the way. I don't know who that is.
When we're on the Hangout, you could tell who it was. How do we tell who it?
Not sure.
You know what? It says 10 participants,
Oh,
but I
we
can only
figured
see
that
6.
out last time. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Well, if I switch to
Under
speaker view,
participant.
then if I switch to speaker view, then that person, whoever's making noise, will come up.
Yeah, but if you click on your participants in the bottom,
There it is.
yeah, you'll see.
Going up now.
Yeah, you'll see the microphone actually turn green.
Oh
when
yeah, you can. Yeah, you can see that it registers. Like I could. Yeah, Gina, when you're talking, I can see the little green going up. Yep.
Yay! I got to tell you something for once, Seth.
Yay. So you know what I started doing though, going back to the topic of Zoom is, I started playing with it. I said to myself, I want to maybe get off of Adobe Connect, which is what I've been using for the one-on-one training. And because Adobe Connect costs a fortune compared to this. Like Cooch, I guess, had to go, but it cost me $1,500 a year for a 3-user license. Plus I pay for the phone bill for all the incoming calls. Oh, there, Cooch is back. So the phone bill for that, because I have my own trainings, plus I have Harold doing training. And so the phone bill for that is like sometimes $300 to $400 a month on top of the $1,500 a year. It's a fortune. So this for $150, it's done. And Zoom does have options. So like we've talked about, Gina, the fact that at least with Google Plus Hangouts, you get the big audience that you can have people watching while we're, say, live on the panel. Zoom has options for that. Obviously, it costs a little more money. So eventually, as I build and grow this whole between wall and main concept now, as Stacy and I do that, we will probably go there and spend the money because they have plans which will allow you up to like 3,000 public live viewers while you have maybe 10 people presenting on a panel, which is really cool.
Cool.
Wow, nice. Well, the things about Zoom that I like are the fact that they allow you to do more than one person can admin the Zoom. Other people can record, which was a question I was going to ask you. Seth, will you allow other people to record?
Yeah, if anybody wants the permission to record, let me know. I'll give it to you. Here, Gina, I just gave it to you.
Oh, okay.
And they're all different. Everybody's recording will be different.
It'll be what's on their screen.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool if there's a way to just say, allow everyone to record.
Yeah, and Seth, I wanted to ask you, I used to, when you were doing Hangouts, I would save all your Hangouts to my Facebook page and my Google community and stuff. So if I can do the recordings, I can save that.
Right. Although I would sort of almost prefer you use the version that I put on our YouTube channel for the obvious.
Okay, that's fine. But
by all means. No, and
share it to me then, I guess.
Yeah, because I set up a YouTube channel for Between Wall and Main now. So that's where these are going.
Does it still not show our names on the recorded? Or am I thinking about Blab? One of them doesn't show our names.
I think it does.
The lower third. I missed that.
I missed the lower third.
See, I stopped using the lower third thing a long time ago. I could care less about that.
That's because everybody knows who you are.
So wait, Karen, why do you say it's hard to get the video up on YouTube?
No, is it hard? Is it hard to
Oh,
get?
you're asking? No, it's because the recording, when it's done, it renders an MP4 file. You just drop it right in and upload it. I'll edit it a little bit. Like I'll put it a little, now that we're doing it this way, because with Google Plus, it just records straight to YouTube. So you really don't have an opportunity to edit. If you
We learned that the hard way, didn't we, Gina?
Well, if you wanted to, you could download the MP4 from YouTube, edit it, and re-upload it as a new video. But that's too much work already. It renders the MP4 in my Documents folder, and so that I can quickly drop that into Camtasia, drop my ZIBWAM intro on it, render that, and then upload that to YouTube. And it comes out great. So, yeah.
I'm doing kind of a little bit of editing on YouTube also myself, YouTube editor.
Yeah, the YouTube editor gives you some limited capability to edit.
And the last thing I want to know, is there a place we can have a Zoom directory? I'd like to add these numbers. I was hoping that Slack would do that with its Zoom integration. Like I could have a directory of yours, Seth, yours, Sarah, and just be able to click on the number or that meeting, your number, when it's time.
That's cool.
So the Slack integration with Zoom is just to start a meeting from within Slack.
Right, and I have not really found that all that wonderful.
Well, yeah, because you know what it is, Gina. It's the Slack team would essentially replace the Facebook group, right? If you're having a Facebook group, and so everybody's going to stay in the Facebook group. That's my.
They're just, I mean, they like Facebook, and I haven't found anything that I could do in Slack that I can't do in Facebook.
Correct. Well, you can organize the topics in Slack. That's what you can't do in Facebook. You can create the channel, organize topics.
Got it.
Whereas Facebook, you don't have that capability at all. That's the only advantage. But the reality is, people are still going to defer to Facebook because that's where people are kind of hanging out all day online. Is they're on Facebook, they've got it open. So my opinion is we're better off sticking with Facebook as the forum for the discussions that are ongoing all week long.
Well, that's what I'm being told. So I'm going to go with it. I'm not fighting.
Yeah.
Roll them with what people want.
Yeah.
Hard to fight inertia.
What I'm finding out about Slack is that it's great for if I want to create like a private discussion group, that's off of Facebook. Like I have an internal one for my company, and some clients are liking the idea of having a Slack team where that's kind of their direct line to me when they have questions and things. So I'm creating Slack teams for clients. So in fact, I talked a little bit about that in my webinar yesterday.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I missed it.
Who said clients? No, that's okay. And the recording will come out. Clients know better than to call me before noon. Why is that?
Because one just called me.
Oh.
Freaking out. And I knew if they called me before noon, it was important. So, but I just did your, reboot and call me back.
Julianne says she has her phone on Do Not Disturb. My phone is almost never, you will almost never hear my phone make a sound. It's almost always on silent, not even vibrate, but silent. Like it never makes a sound. I don't want to be disturbed that way. And then I have it automatically go into Do Not Disturb mode from 8:30 p.m. until I think it's 5 or 6 in the morning.
Oh, I need to play with that.
Yeah, I need to program that too.
My husband needs to play with that where his little Apple Watch doesn't go crazy in the middle of funerals. And I'm like,
oh no, did that happen?
I saw him do it. I said, I'm going, but he has all these alerts for all these servers and all this. And it was actually a partner's mother. So he's like, if that server goes down here, he'll kill me. So he's like,
kind of on call forever.
How important could it be? And it's like, pretty important.
That's why I love the saying, there are no accounting emergencies.
No,
Yep,
it's true.
I guess there are IT emergencies when you have 100-something users.
Yeah, IT is a different story.
Mm-hmm. I'm so sick of electronical things failing. Our alarm system went off.
You know what's sad? So somebody on Facebook yesterday was asking me, like, do I have a wish list online? Obviously, they were looking to buy me a gift. So I thought, oh, that's nice. And so I remembered that the other day I noticed I had a wish list that I created years ago on Amazon. So I just said, oh, just go to Amazon. So she said it was,
Make that public?
Yeah, you can make a public wish list so that if people are looking for it's kind of like just when you have a wedding registry almost, but it's like a permanent registry of things I would love to have, and
Oh
this
my
way, if somebody's looking
goodness.
to buy you a gift, they can look it up, and this way, but it's great because this way people know what to get you if they want to get you something. So
That's the special.
I don't usually
That's
pay.
a little scary. For guys, I guess it's a little different than women.
Well, obviously, you're going to keep the real personal, intimate stuff off the list. But, you know, like,
Those self-help books. You
and
know.
what I've learned is Suchi's like, wait, are you yawning or are you shocked? So, you know, and of course, you know, out of sort of, I guess you could say politeness, respect, whatever, you know, well, let me back up and explain what happened. So she
Clean
said,
up your list.
you know, she said she couldn't find me. She said, there's a bunch of Seth Davids on there. And I'm like, that's impossible. How could there and I put hashtag, there can be only one. And so I went and looked, you know, to get her the link directly to my own wish list. And I posted it, but in the process, I noticed I had stuff like I had books on Excel from like 10 years ago.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh no, don't get me these
You don't
books.
want those right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to clean that puppy up.
The ultimate mic. You already have the best mic there is, so take that off that list too.
Well, I had the Yeti on there, funny enough, and so I had to pull that off, but I cleaned it up, and then I just said, you know what, I have a price range, so there are things for as little as like $7 and things for as much as $200 that I have.
You want Frozen? I'm sorry.
But you know what's scary? No, you know what I put on my list was I can't remember the name of the movie, but the character is Groot. Groot. I am Groot. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Oh,
Everybody say hi to my cousin in the back.
my cousin.
Because my dogs heard that. I think the name.
Oh, that's funny.
I didn't know you had a dog.
Hey guys, come on.
Yeah, where's your dog? Bring your dog up on camera.
I didn't know you had a dog.
Me?
Yeah.
Come here, Rocky.
Do I know that? My memory's still not back. I'm
I
sorry.
get Rocky on every now and then.
Yeah,
Rocky.
you've had Rocky on before.
We
that's
should,
right.
you know, learn the animals.
So, but here was the scary thing. As I'm going through, because then I'm like, well, let me update it. So I got off all the old junk off the wish list, and I'm going through. And so I find myself, first I went through the recommended stuff, right, which they recommend to you based either on your own shopping habits or what's on your wish list. They make suggestions. So I'm going through that, and I'm like, nah. And then I'm like, all right, well, let me, and I added some things. And then I said, let me shop by department. And I'm going through, and you know, the sad thing is I was honestly hard-pressed to find anything that I felt like I needed or wanted. And the reality is,
For you.
it was a deep sense of gratitude. I was like, what? I have everything I need. I don't need, you know. It reminded me of something I read earlier this week. You know, it was just another one of these sort of inspirational, like gratitude kind of things where it said, you know, a person who's wealthy is not somebody who has a lot of things, but somebody who's satisfied with them.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
There you are, Karen.
We hear you.
Can I do that too?
Working.
Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Seth. Good morning to everyone. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful.
So,
I am terrific. I'm delighted to be in this Zoom meeting because I understand the topic today is Zoom. Is that correct?
yes, but so you
And
missed a
gratitude?
chunk of it, but and now we got on to something else. But if you have questions about Zoom, please ask them.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. My first question is, if you're going to use Zoom to record a session, how much horsepower do you need on your computer to be able to do that, and in particular to be able to edit Camtasia videos?
So you need a good internet connection. As Lear pointed out when we had him on the Hangout a few weeks ago, ideally you want to be hardwired into the internet, not using Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
That'll make a big difference. You should have a good graphics card on your computer. I mean, that goes always if you're going to do anything video-wise. You know, you got to have
NVIDIA GeForce, one of those.
You have to. You know, it's hard to get into the specs because it depends on the model of computer and are you Mac or PC first of all?
I'm PC, and I am, like many of you, scrambling to spend my Section 179 money here.
There you go. So
Raise your hand if you're doing the same thing. And I want a new portable computer, a lightweight portable computer. I've owned 3 ThinkPads. You know, they never ever die. They just get old and slow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you own the ThinkPads, then you're in the Lenovo world. I can tell you what I got. It's not going to be lightweight, But it's the
Oh.
Lenovo W541. It's a little bit of a brick, but it's a powerhouse. It'll do everything a desktop computer can do. It's got a super powerful graphics card. To me, it's worth it. Because it'll do everything you're talking about wanting to do, especially when it comes to recording videos and editing.
How much does that thing weigh? 5 pounds?
Yeah, probably about 5 pounds, maybe 4. By the way, and I keep forgetting to say, I don't know if you noticed now since I changed the camera angle, I got my Fundera shirt on. It's Fundera Friday, so officially,
Okay.
I'm officially declaring Friday is Fundera Friday.
All
Well,
right.
we need Meredith Wood here then.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get her in. Well, I was at her office yesterday, broadcasting the CPA Academy webinar from her office.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That was fun. So sorry, Elizabeth. So Sarah's got Lenovo. See that? Now we're sponsored by Lenovo.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So,
I ended up with a
yeah, they're great machines.
Edge 2,
Mm-hmm.
and it's significantly less than the one I was looking at. But as I said earlier, the one that I was looking at that we had really decided on, the camera's in the hinge.
Oh, the Dell? Wasn't that the Dell notebook, right? Yeah, I looked at that one.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I looked at that one because it's so sweet as far as everything.
Really sweet. So the camera, I went, sorry.
Yeah. What would you be, you'd be doing this all the time to try to.
I know, exactly.
So,
that and the keyboard was really smushed.
yeah.
So I walked around with that and compared it, and I ended up with this. And by the time I add the solid state drive and bump up the RAM, I am coming out less expensive than the.
This machine I have has a full-on solid-state drive. None of this hybrid. It's just full solid-state.
Right,
It's going to cost you a little extra. I mean, this machine that I got is about the most powerful machine money can buy. But I'm not going to lie. I spent about $3,000 on it.
How much?
$3,000.
Oh, I've never gotten a laptop for less than that. So.
Okay, so in the past I've spent a lot less than that on laptops.
Really?
Yeah, but your ThinkPad shouldn't have been more than.
Well, they were.
2,000.
Yeah, but I always bump them up and get the max RAM and the more memory, and more hard drive, and more resources.
So here's a trick. What I did, because the built-in hard drive is only like 500 gigabytes, and especially if you're working with video, the file sizes start to get up there. So here's what I did. I got a 3 terabyte external hard drive. And when I set this computer up and I installed Dropbox and Google Drive and Box.com, I mapped them to locations on the external drive. So that keeps all those files off of the computer's hard drive, keeps that light. The other thing I love about Box.com is, for example, when I'm rendering video, it has to be on a local folder. You cannot render a video in a shared file service like a Dropbox. It's kind of like having a live QuickBooks file in there. It causes problems. So I have to keep that stuff local, but meaning that I have to put it on the computer's own hard drive. However, when I'm done, I copied it into a folder in Box.com. I let it sync up with Box.com. I have unlimited storage and bandwidth, so I don't worry about hitting any ceilings with air. And then I go onto the website on Box.com and I unsync the folder. And that way it pulls it off of my hard drive and it just lives in the web, so I have it if I need it, but it's not taking up space on the hard drive.
Very smart. That's what all the professional video editors do.
Yep. But the problem has always been finding a remote sort of cloud storage service that doesn't have either too low of a limit or ridiculous fees for, to have more. So because I wanted to put them in ShareFile, but ShareFile I'm limited in bandwidth and I'm limited in file storage to like 20 gigabytes. Well, I need more than that,
So did you say Fox?
Box.com, yeah. Fox. So Dropbox.
They're not that Fox though, right?
Yeah.
Is anybody using the ShareFile unlimited?
I haven't seen ShareFile with unlimited. What are they charging for that?
From what I understood when I was at Slater, it was only going to add another $75 or $15 a month. So it'd probably be right under $100 a month.
Because I'm paying like $295 a quarter with ShareFile, and I only have like 30 gigabytes max.
Yeah, see, I only have 10. And so, but they said just bumping it up to $100 a month, $300 a quarter, then I could, huh?
You talking unlimited bandwidth or file storage?
File storage, and I could sync my whole server.
So I don't see how they can
call
be giving
them.
you unlimited file storage for $15 more than a 10 gigabyte plan when my 30 gigabyte plan costs 3 times as much. That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. He said, you're on an old plan. You need to, talk to us. So I'm going to call them after this and find out what's going on.
I'm about to cancel. I'm about to
Call them
cancel
as a
your file.
new user. Call them as a new user and find out what they're really.
Well, the other trick is cancel the service, and then they'll give you a great offer to get you back. That's what happened to me a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
just canceled it, and they sent me all these follow-up emails. I ignored them, and then finally somebody got me on the phone, and I said, well, you guys were just too expensive, and then they gave me this plan that I'm on now. But obviously, here's the thing, though. The reason I love Box.com is the capability to be very specific, folder within folder, sync this, don't sync that. You have such powerful flexibility in terms of your capabilities in Box.com that I've not seen on any of the other services. So that's
I'm
what
sorry.
I love.
Is it box B as in boy?
Yeah, B like
Okay, beta. All right. Okay, great. Thanks.
it's confusing because you have Dropbox and then you have Box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you. But I still couldn't get that sexy little Surface Pro 4 book.
No, that's what my husband had me looking at
But the
first.
Surface Pro isn't going to have a lot of power. It's going to be, it's light.
I know developers who are using that to develop. I mean, they've got it docked.
Because they're probably just writing code, which is fine. They don't need something real powerful for that.
Yeah, but I think there's different versions, Seth. I've looked at the Surface Pro, and you can buy one for $1,000, and you
Right.
can buy one for $500.
Right.
A lot more in the higher version.
But again, even
Exactly.
at $1,000, I can almost guarantee you're not getting the graphics capabilities that you'll need
Yeah.
if you want to do stuff with
Okay.
video. As soon as you start getting serious about video, like I am, then you need something super powerful, especially in the PC world. I mean, if you go to Macs are sort of built better for video editing kind of stuff.
Right.
But so if you're going to stay with PC and do video, you got to spend like $3,000. That's just my experience, or more. But
Yeah.
and $3,000.
Now what
just
I
for the
wanted to hear,
computer.
Seth.
Sorry, and that doesn't include the upgrades for the hard drive. But like I said, the external hard drive, the 3 terabyte, that's like $150 for a 3 terabyte hard drive. So, I mean, much better way to go. The media is getting so cheap now.
Yeah.
Now that I have Camtasia that I haven't loaded or played with yet, but
Oh, look, I made my lighting.
Wow.
should I get one? I was looking at different ways to do it. Do I need a green?
Screen?
I mean,
Only if you care about the live action background. If mostly what you're doing in Camtasia is going to be your screencasting stuff, then no, you don't need that.
Well,
Yeah.
Joanne said that she went to the dollar store and got green poster board and it worked great.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah.
Why
Well, I don't have a wall behind me to tape it to or something, so I was,
Well, then, because then if you're going to, getting a green screen, then you got to get the stand, and you also have to make sure, we bought one, and it's all wrinkly. So whenever I try an overlay on it, comes out looking wrinkly. So you have to actually iron it, which is already way too much work. I'm done. You know what? I'll just turn off my webcam. It's not that important to me.
I'll learn the basics first. I'm so ahead of myself.
Yeah.
I'm always.
And you know what?
road,
The reality is what I learned, and this is just my opinion that I've formed based on my experience, having your own live action image in the video is distracting. Really, when you're trying to create a software tutorial, you want people focused on what you're trying to teach them, which is not what you look like. But
Right.
how to use
Okay.
That
agree.
does make sense.
I agree.
So even
We're
now,
not
when I
all
do
Steve
stick myself in the image, within the first 60 to 90 seconds, I'm going to fade my image out of it anyway. It's just for me to be a little more personable and friendly and say, hey, Seth David here, and then fade out. Nobody wants to look at me. They want to look at the software.
Some of the stuff Steve Dotto does is sort of fun looking.
Yeah.
So Seth, I have another Zoom question. This is in relation to cloud. When you're in the settings, I saw an option to save as MP4 or save in the cloud. Do we have a maximum amount of storage? Will we hit a limit?
That I don't know. I prefer to save it as an MP4 file, though, for the reasons I mentioned before.
Well, I checked both. It appears to me that you can do both. So if I
Right.
could have the MP4 and the cloud, why not?
I don't know. I don't know. My thing is this: because you can choose not to render the video right away, and it creates these sort of like zip files
Zippy,
in
yeah.
the folder, and then you can go back and render the MP4 later. That actually takes up less space, and this way, if you know that right after your meeting's done, you need to do something else that's going to be using a lot of system resources, you don't want a video file rendering because that uses up a lot of system resources. Another case to be made for getting a very powerful machine when you're doing this kind of stuff, because
Right.
all that video is being rendered, whether it's Zoom or whether you're processing from Camtasia, it's going to use up a lot of your resources. So, I mean, I suppose it's cool to let it make a version in the cloud as a backup, if nothing else.
Well, that's what I was thinking, more or less for backup. Should something happen while it was rendering to a MP4, then I have a second source.
See, the reason I learned I don't think you have to worry about that is because I had a problem during the meeting, and then we resumed, and so I didn't think I had the MP4, but it still had those other files that you can use to create the MP4 out of it. So
Doesn't it create 3 files, audio, playback?
it does create an audio-only file too, which is cool because, like, I remember years ago, Karen reached out to me and asked me about, like, if I had, like, a podcast version of any of my videos, because apparently Karen wanted to listen to my voice while she was on the treadmill.
For inspiration.
No, I walk the dog for an hour every morning, so
Okay.
I go through a lot of podcasts.
Right. So it could be great for that purpose, so that you can kind of make that version available. Get your stuff in iTunes, I was about to get a I'm still planning on getting a podcast started, but I might delay it more than I planned to. Stacy sort of talked me out of it because I was about to spend a good chunk of money to get a very professionally produced podcast with the same guy who does Mike Michalowicz's podcast.
Ooh,
Chris Curran is
Mike is all over the place.
Yeah, so I was going to use the same guy, and I probably still will, but Stacy sort of talked me into holding off on spending the money for now. So I'm like, okay.
Hey, Seth, I'm still screwing around with Amazon.com trying to find you amongst 4,000 Seth Davids.
I don't understand how that's...
And then I linked it with Facebook thinking, well, I'll find him that way, but you have so many Facebook.
So it's Tina Kritzer was the one who actually asked me about it. So I'll post it. If you want to buy me a gift, I'll give you. You know what I should do? I should just like post it somewhere and pin it and say, "Here's my wish list," just because I want Groot.
Groot. Is it?
I am Groot. You know what? I'm going to Google it because it's bothering me now. There was a movie with like these like superhero Avenger type characters. Hold on. I am Groot. Groote. And why not? I'll share my screen while we're talking about it. And Elizabeth, don't let us get us too far off topic. If you have more Zoom questions.
I do actually, but I don't want to hog the whole thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you. Here, I'm going to share why I'm doing this, what I'm doing this for. I have sold Abaca.net. I am no longer the owner of the business. I was fortunate enough to find a Brazilian couple. He is a .NET programmer extraordinaire. I mean, he was the head architect / programmer on a little website you've probably heard of, Walmart. Yeah, I mean, this man is he's scary smart. So he's the new owner, and I'm still working here in a sales capacity, which I love because I get to do all the fun stuff and not a lot of the crappy stuff that I used to hate to do, like paying bills. So I'm moving on to my next career. My next career is going to be something that I did a long, long time ago, which is work with languages. I am going to be an English as a second language teacher.
Awesome.
Thank you. I've done it before. When I lived in France, I taught English, and when I lived in Mexico, I taught English and French. So it's something that I love to do, and I think now with the advent of technology, this is ripe for using Zoom. And the way I envision it working is you have a session with a student, and you're encouraging them to talk, because believe it or not, the old Henry Higgins correcting every incorrect word style of teaching is gone by the boards. now the whole emphasis is on encouraging people and making them confident in their English speaking abilities and correcting selectively. So I am envisioning having a Zoom session with someone, wherever they are in the world, going through a list of topics, having them speak, and then after the fact, correcting and annotating the video so that they really see where they need to improve.
Yeah, like what I did, for example, when we did Leor's Hangout, and I haven't done last week's yet, I'm going to do it probably today, is, you know, at the beginning it shows all our little thumbnail images, and it shows it kind of at a distance. So in Camtasia, I use that to zoom in, so you get a little closer up view of everybody's images. And then because of the editing capabilities in Camtasia, while Leor was giving his demo of his software, I took the time to edit the video and zoomed in at the appropriate places so people could see more clearly what he might have been showing people. So that was, you know, to me, very useful to be able to do that, because in the Google Plus Hangouts, you know, again, you would just record it, it would stream straight to YouTube, and I'm not going to take the time to edit it. And I know YouTube has some light editing capabilities, but I don't think zooming in is one of them. You know? So you know, it's so much better on so many levels. Yesterday's webinar the topic was power pricing in the business in the new world. Good morning, Lynn.
Hi there.
Lynn Mattis joining us.
Hey, Lynn.
So the topic was power pricing in the business of the new world. And part of what I was talking about was remote access software, right? So I mentioned at the beginning, the remote control capability, this is amazing. In fact, I was saying earlier, I've been using Adobe Connect for years. Besides the fact that Adobe Connect costs me a fortune compared to this, even when I'm taking over somebody's screen or computer, when they give me control, certain keyboard shortcut combinations won't work when you're going through that software, right? So if I'm trying to work on somebody's Excel spreadsheet and I want to use for example, Shift Spacebar shortcut to highlight an entire row, it won't work. With Zoom, it works. With Zoom, all the keyboard shortcuts work beautifully when I'm remote controlling through Zoom. It is such a beautiful. And the other thing is, if I was logged in Adobe Connect with somebody who was working on a monitor that's at a high resolution, their screen would come out very small on my screen. Zoom has a way to adjust for that. There's an option in the top of your screen with a drop-down where you can say fit to window, and it will enlarge the view so that you get a really good close-up view of what's on their screen. So there's so many, you know, from the beginning. And the real thing that pushed me over the edge with Zoom was that I found that my non-tech clients had no trouble getting into the meeting.
Yes. Oh, that's huge.
That was the hugest thing about it. That was when I said, okay, I am going to abandon Adobe Connect in favor of this. Because the reason I spent all the money on Adobe Connect was that it did more than any other thing, than any other services did. You know, it was between that and TeamViewer at one point. And the difference is Adobe Connect, you could have more people in the meeting than TeamViewer offered. I could have up to 100. TeamViewer limits you to 25 with their like basic business plan. So that was the thing that made me choose Adobe Connect over TeamViewer, was that one little difference, because I said when I do webinars, I want to have up to 100 people, maybe even more. So again, and Zoom has those options I mentioned earlier, where you can have, they have like a webinar product that you can get also. If you need to have, I said earlier, from what I saw on their website, they have plans that allow you to have as many as 3,000 people watching live.
Wow.
You know, which is as good, so it's every bit as good as Google Hangouts as far as I'm concerned from that point of view. And again, so for the basic pro plan for Zoom, it's like $150 for a year. And that gets me everything I need. And I'm not paying the phone bill anymore like I am with Adobe Connect and the service I use called Meeting One. So on so many levels, I found this to be, so here's the thing, and here's my challenge. I've been using Adobe Connect for quite a while. I've been using it since like 2009, I think, right? So I have 7 years worth of recorded trainings that I've done that live on the Adobe Connect server.
Ouch.
And my promise to people has been that as long as I'm alive and on this planet, you'll have your recordings.
$1,500 a year?
So you want to know what my crapshoot is going to be? Here's my theory. And hopefully not too many people will watch this recording and hear me say this since we're at the hour. My theory is that 6 months after most of these sessions I do, nobody cares anymore, right? It's irrelevant. They've already done the training that they need. They've reviewed it as much as they ever need to. So I figure it like this. I started using Zoom exclusively already. My original plan was to start after the first of the year, but I said, no, you know what? I just want to do it this way right now. And so our process now is, because the nice thing about Adobe was the recording would stay on their server, and I would just send the client a link and say, here, go click this and watch it. Downside is they need a live internet connection to access their recording because they don't have a file. So here what we do is we take the MP4, we stick it in a folder in box.com. I have it organized for private trainings, and then each client in a folder within that, right? And then we generate the link to that MP4 file in box.com, and we put that in the notes from their session, which is we use Active Collab to kind of house the information around their training sessions. So we create the link from box.com, stick that in Active Collab. That's where the training log is, so every training they ever do will be there. And then we have, what do you call it? We have, so we set up the trainings in Active Collab. They're linked to the file in box.com, and they can, when they click it, then they're going to download the MP4, right? So they're going to actually be able to download that file, keep it local on their computers, so they can watch it whenever they want. Don't need a live internet connection. So that's my new process for kind of, workflow for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. My Adobe Connect subscription expires in June. So I'm just going to, by between now and then, as long as I'm doing it all on Zoom, I'll have well over 6 months of time lapse between the last training that I did with Adobe Connect. And then I'm going to let that whole program expire. And I'm going to see if there's a way that they can back everything up onto like DVDs for me and send it to me just in case. But if not, I'm just going to let it go.
Wow, I wonder how many DVDs that would take.
Quite a few, because the thing is, for me to create my own local file in it, I would have to play back every video in real time. And then,
oh my goodness,
version,
we would lose you.
I'd be
For a
done.
while.
Well, no, I'd end up paying somebody a fortune to do it for me.
Gina, how did you do your Christmas border?
It's a frame that I have with one of the camcorders that I bought, and it's very old. I have not been able to find it anywhere else. As soon as I do find them available somewhere again, I will let the world know.
But you've migrated to different machines, and you can still.
I have. It originally started with Windows 7. I was amazed that it's working with Windows 8.1. Must have been a very simple whatever program that they just seems to live on forever, knock wood.
Yep. Hey, Elizabeth?
Yes.
I put a link in the chat for foreign languages. It's kind of a hobby of mine, so I thought
is it?
That's really great. You got to watch the YouTube videos. The guy that owns.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The 10-language dude from Israel.
No, it's like about 15 languages.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and he just switches from one to the other seamlessly. And he's also excuse the French, but he's a shill for one of the language, Rosetta Stone, I believe.
Oh, is he?
No. This guy is. He has his own company.
Okay, then I'm thinking of someone else.
No,
I'm thinking of a gentleman who is from Israel, so he obviously speaks Hebrew, but then he speaks 10 other languages.
No, this guy's
video where he speaks in each one of them, one after the other, and then he finally sells the stuff for.
If you look at lingq.com, the guy that owns that has the company, he has a YouTube channel, and it's just amazing how fast he learns languages.
Wow.
So, thought you might be interested.
Thank you. Love it.
So before we leave, I want to say, Elizabeth, I'm checking out your elf on the shelf back there.
My what? Elf on the shelf?
Yes.
Where? I see flowers.
The flowers.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
They're,
maybe it wasn't a big enough picture.
No.
They look like an elf sitting on the shelf. Very
red too.
There's an elf sitting out in the living room right now, but he's not on the shelf. So, anyway.
All right, so it's about time to wrap up. But Elizabeth, do you have any more questions?
No, I think you've. Oh God, I want a lightweight computer.
Elizabeth, I have a question for Elizabeth.
Yes.
Want to get together for wine tonight?
Where do you guys live?
You didn't come to the net. Oh, now that you saw the HuffPost this
Yes.
morning that said that wine is a glass of red wine. This is fact. Is equivalent to the health effects that you get from an hour at the gym.
Oh, I'm in on it.
I find that very hard to believe. I would love to know who's behind that.
I would
Wine
do that.
industry.
The Red Wine Consortium. I don't know, but it's true. Oh.
Yeah, Elizabeth and I live in the same town, so.
Yeah, you weren't at the Nan. That's where I was last night at the Nan Christmas party at 3rd and 3rd.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, a lot of red wine.
Speaking of true things that you read about on the internet, the Abraham Lincoln quote.
There you go.
That Abraham Lincoln said, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet."
On the internet.
Didn't he also say you can fool some of the people some of the time, and all of the people some of the time, and some of the people none of the time?
Was that Abe Lincoln or was that
Abe Lincoln? I think that was Lincoln, wasn't it?
I don't know. All right. On that note, we're going to end. Gina, what are we doing today on yours?
the usual? What you see is what you get. We'll be on
Beautiful.
Zoom. If anyone wants to join, message me. I need your email address to add you to the Facebook page.
Great. All right. So we'll hopefully see you all later on today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend.